wait on some eyeballs to get in here. Make sure we're going live. Sweet. So, hey, as you guys are hopping on, I'm going to have some fun with this. We're going to take some time to dissect this thing, but comment where you're from and leave some questions. I want to get some feedback back and forth. What's up, Cody? What's up, Naaman? It's good to see some of you guys hopping on. Comment where you're at right now and how hot or cold it is. It was 35 degrees in Colorado today. And it was like slightly raining. It was chilly. I was not prepared. Not prepared. What's up, Cody, man? My parents told me it was 98 in Tennessee today. Like, it's setting record temperature, heat waves, all sorts of craziness going on. So I'm kind of grateful that it's cooler here. But what's up, Moose? So, hey, as you guys are hopping on and Cooper's saying what's up real quick, you gonna join us? They can't see you. You're too low, man. But anyways, you guys are gonna see me kind of leaning in so I can read the screen on my phone. I got a little tripod set up. I know this information back here is small, but I'm gonna go between the screen and trying to show you guys some of this information to break down what I'm doing and my goal behind it. Cooper, out of here, bud. Come on, back up. Cooper, my dog's trying to eat my bugle tube. He does not like this thing. But anyways, so I did a video about a week ago on why I'm doing this. And most of you know I've been in the fitness industry for going on, I started when I was literally 18 or 19 when I started personal training. And I'm 33 going on 34 now. So what's that, 15 plus years? And been in the supplement game, whole 9 yards, personal training people, talking about making healthy food choices, all this stuff. And here's something, I want to take you back. Back when I was a trainer in a gym, bless you, Cooper. Back when I was a trainer in a gym, one thing that I dealt with personally was I felt like I had to be perfect, right? Like, I'm the trainer, I'm coaching you on fitness and nutrition, therefore I can't have a beer, have pizza. That's just the feeling I had. It was overwhelming pressure. So it almost created this like, hey, I got to go hide and I can only eat or drink the things I want when I'm around my very close friends or my family, right? So this started years ago for me. And then fast forward to the past 14, 15 years of training clients, one of the number one things I hear is, oh my God, Mike, you know, I had some cookies last night or I had a few drinks going out with friends and I'm a failure, right? I'm a failure. I gained weight, blah, blah, blah. And then it starts this black hole effect or this vicious cycle of continuing to eat crap because then you go, it ain't even worth it because I was a failure yesterday. So that's one thing that happens. Another one is the scale. People will follow a nutrition plan and then they see these fluctuations in the scale. And that messes with people's minds. And they think, why am I eating all these veggies and this protein and drinking all this water and then I get on the scale and I'm up 2 pounds. It ain't working, so I'm going to go have a pizza tonight. And then again, obviously with the sodium, carbohydrates, and pizza, typically that's going to blow your weight up more. And it, again, another vicious cycle starts. So I started seeing all these patterns in myself and in my clients, and it's just not healthy. People are living these chained up lives of like, they either were all into this diet and perfect, or they're like, it's not worth it. And I don't know about y'all, but for me, I'm all about living life, enjoying life, and I want to be healthy. I want to be in shape. I want to look good. I want to perform good, but I still want to have a drink with my friends every now and then and not feel terrible about it. Or I still want to enjoy my Reese's Big Cups that I love so much and not feel like, oh my God, am I going to get diabetes tomorrow? Right? So I wanted to do this challenge for a few things. Number one, and I put it on here, to prove that calories are king. Not keto, not intermittent fasting, not some super detox supplement program. And guys, not that those things are wrong. That's not what I'm saying. I'm not demonizing those things. But the reason I'm doing this is to prove to you that calories in versus calories out is the number one thing that matters when it comes to fat loss in the human body. It's a fundamental. It hasn't changed in 50 to 100 years. It's not going to change in the next 50 to 100 years. And what that means is no matter what foods you are consuming, if you are at a caloric deficit or burning more than you are consuming or eating or drinking or taking in, you will still lose fat. And I'll dive into how I'm already proving that this week, because I've lost 3.2 pounds in less than a week eating crap. So I'm not saying that's the healthiest thing to do. So y'all calm down in the comments. I've already gotten those messages. I'll touch on that too later. But if your goal is to lose fat, calories are king. Now, keto, intermittent fasting, supplements, all this other stuff, those are great strategies or tools on the tool belt that might work for you in order to help you achieve a caloric deficit if you're trying to lose fat. But they're not like, it doesn't have to be this pragmatic, dogmatic, you have to do this. I don't believe in that, because we're humans. We're all individuals. We're all different. And for me to say you got to do what's working for me, I'm doing keto and it's the best thing ever and you have to do it, I don't think that's correct. We're too complex. We're complex creatures. That ain't how things work. So, anyways, calories are king is one thing that I wanted to touch on. Another thing we're going to hit on is weight versus fat. That's another reason why I'm weighing in every single day and showing you the scale, to help you understand that your weight will fluctuate. So there's multiple things that come into this, right? Number one, when you're on a diet and you're trying to lose weight, typically what you mean is you're trying to lose body fat, right? You're trying to lose adipose tissue, the stuff that's hanging and jiggling and doesn't make us feel good or look good, right? You could lose 10 pounds of water weight. I could show you how to go get in a sauna and deplete your carbohydrates and lose 10 to 15 pounds by tomorrow morning. But you're going to feel like crap, and it's not true fat weight. You're going to look almost the same. And as soon as you drink water or eat food, you're just going to gain that weight back. That's not what we're looking for here. There is a difference between weight and fat. We want to maintain muscle and bone density and drop fat. So that's something else to pay attention to. And that's why I'm showing the scale, because there were 3 days on my weigh-ins that you guys will see. Actually, I didn't write them on here, but I posted them earlier. I started at 213.2. I had a quick drop, and then I maintained at 211.6 for 3 days. And then I dropped again today to get to 210. So your weight might go down, it might go up, it might fluctuate. Why do you guys think that is? For you fitness people that are watching this right now, why do you think that is? And I'm going to go back and look at some comments real quick while I'm on here. Watching, got a lot of people watching. Katie, yep, I want cake. I do too. Hey, my cousin's on here. That's cool. It's cool to see family in here. So anyways, guys, there's a few things that happen with the scale, right? And I just want to teach you this if you don't already know. Literal weight of food matters. Like if I weigh right now and I go chug 16 ounces of water and hop back on a scale, 16 ounces of water is right at a pound. I'm going to be a pound heavier. Do you think I actually gained a pound of fat by drinking water? No. Same thing happens. Let's say total today I eat 2 pounds of food. Tomorrow I ate 3 pounds of food. It's still healthy food. I'm still in my calorie range, but I ate 3 pounds versus 2 pounds. Maybe it's more veggies or something. Well, I'm going to be a pound heavier because I ate a pound more food. Or maybe you had a processed food. Maybe you got fast food, a pizza, or maybe you put more salt on your burger or whatever that is. Sodium retains water within your body. It soaks it up. Have you guys ever seen people put salt on the napkins at restaurants and then put their drink glass on it? The reason they do that is it soaks up water. So if you have higher sodium content on one day versus another, your weight or the scale is going to go up. It doesn't necessarily mean you gain body fat. So we need to understand how these things can play into the scale. The scale is just a data point, y'all. It's one data point. Instead of being afraid of this scale, which is an inanimate object, right? It's just there. Step on it every single day and just think, I'm just charting my weight. And every day for a week, chart your weight and then add up all 7 days and get your average. And let that be how you start checking your weight. And then in week 2, same thing, weigh every single day. And at the end of week 2, take your average. And if you're trying to lose body fat and you're in a caloric deficit, which I'll touch on in a few, you should see a slow, steady trend of that weight dropping. But if you're getting caught up in these fluctuations every single day, it is going to mess with your mind, because carbohydrates can matter, sodium can matter, sleep, stress, the actual weight of your food can matter. So remember, weight is one data point. That is it. Don't let the scale control your life. All right. And that's one of the goals I have in this program for 30 days. I'm going to show you. Go through here, make sure we don't have any more questions. What's up, Juan? Good to see you, man. So now the other thing I've been getting here, actually, let me tie this into calories real quick. Okay. We talked about calories are king. It's hard for you guys to see it. You guys can Google this. I mean, Google's amazing. There's so many ways to calculate your calories nowadays. I use this formula up here because I have a little body fat machine that I bought online for like $40. And this formula takes into account male, female, your weight, your height, your age, and body fat. It's one of the most accurate ones out there. And your activity level. Now, when I did these numbers, I want to show you guys a few things that are kind of cool if you're a science nerd and you want to learn. And I really believe learning why you're doing something will lead to your long-term success. I really do believe that. So stick with me here for a second. So when I started my nutritional plan in January, most of you guys that are watching this know my story. If you don't know my story, I've always been into fitness. Last year's been a hell of a year for me. Financially, my profession, my relationships, it's been a rough year. I got injured twice doing jiu-jitsu. I gained a lot of weight. So I started in January at 243 pounds, 20.5% body fat. It's the heaviest and most fat I've ever had on my body. I felt terrible, right? That was in January 2019. I started this process that I'm teaching you guys and my online clients. I started this process on myself in January to be a slow, methodical drop so I could still enjoy life. Well, last week I weighed in at 213 pounds. It's September or whatever, right? So that's 9 months, right? 9 months, I lost 30 pounds. If you do the math, a little over 3 pounds a month. That's not staggering, crazy fast fat loss, right? I don't care. It's sustainable. And I've been able to enjoy life along the way and rehabbed injuries and built new relationships and friendships. I'm happy. So that's what you guys got to look for. So that's where I was. Now, this was today. 1 week into this Bad Foods Challenge, incorporating a bad food or two every single day, but staying within my caloric deficit, and I've lost 3 pounds. But not only that, y'all, here's the cool part. I went from 16.5% body fat to 15.2, almost 1.5% body fat in 1 week while eating bad, unhealthy foods. So I ran the numbers. I actually gained a little bit of muscle this past week and lost almost 3 pounds of fat. That is really, really good, y'all, which again proves my point. Calories are king. Of course, the healthier foods we can get within our caloric budget, the better. And that's what I want you guys to try to do. Don't just go out there and eat crap every day and go, Mike said I can eat crap. That's not what I'm trying to teach. But what I'm trying to teach is, if you go out on Friday night with your wife or your kids and you want to have some popcorn or some drinks, it's okay. Try to track your foods and stay within your caloric budget, and you can still lose fat and even gain a little bit of muscle while doing so if you're doing everything else correctly. That's my goal. That's what I'm trying to get across there to you, all right? Now, when I ran my numbers, I want you guys to see this. For 213 pounds, by doing this calculation, again, go to Google, type in your own numbers. It's great. My maintenance calories are 3,100, right around 3,100 calories, okay? Y'all follow me? That means that with my activity level that I put into that calculator, which is 3 to 5 days a week, because that's between jiu-jitsu and working out, I'm averaging 3 to 5 days a week of exercise. Then what this is saying, that if I eat around 3,100 calories, I will maintain my current body weight, all right? That doesn't mean gain, doesn't mean lose, it means I should maintain. Well, if your goal is fat loss, what I did over here is 1 pound of fat is approximately 3,500 calories. That's kind of what the studies are showing. So if you take a little block of fat and you go, man, all fat is unused energy that we stored in our body. So that's 3,500 calories for a pound of fat. Well, let's do some math. If you want to lose a pound of fat a week, some simple mathematics, there's 7 days a week. If we do a 500 calorie deficit from our maintenance level every day for 7 days a week, well, if you do 7 times 500, that's 3,500 calories. Magic! We're losing a pound of fat a week. So for me, I took my 3,100 number. I subtract 500 from it. I hope you guys can see this. If not, just follow along. And that gives me 2,600 calories a day. So what that means is, theoretically, if all of this is correct and I'm exercising and following this plan, if I'm eating 2,600 calories or lower a day, I should be losing around a pound of fat a week. So hopefully this makes sense. Now, everyone's different. Maybe you want to lose more. Well, that's why I wrote here my goal is 2,100 to 2,600 calories a day. I'm giving myself some wiggle room. That means I'm losing anywhere from 1 to 2 pounds of fat per week if I stay in this range. Gives me some wiggle room. One day it might be a little higher, one day it might be a little lower. But you guys need to calculate where your calories need to be based on your activity level and the Google calculators. And then if you're trying to lose fat, subtract 500 calories from that. It should give you a good generic starting point of where you need to be. And then you start tracking. Mike, how do you track? Well, use the free apps. Lose It, MyFitnessPal. I don't care how you do it, but track your foods. And guess what, guys? Start testing it yourself. Don't rely on someone else to do this for you all the time. Take some extreme ownership, test it yourself, and start tracking. Take that extra 5 seconds a day. All my online clients that are crushing it right now, we calculate their formulas, we find out what diet plan works best for them and their lifestyle, and then I go, here's your zone, let's hit it. And we have accountability and we check in. But everyone that's killing it and losing fat, they're tracking their foods. They're staying accountable. They're sending that stuff to me. So if you want to do that yourself, stay accountable to yourself, okay? Let's see here. I'm going to check on some comments real quick. Yeah, my boy Sean, we used to wrestle way back in the day, and he knows as well as I do when it comes to weight on the scale, we can manipulate that very, very easily and very quickly. So again, guys, I hope you guys learned from this message earlier that the scale can just go up and down, but just take it for what it is. It's one data point, and then follow it each week. We're going for long-term goals here, not short-term. All right, Missy said, do you think simple carbs also act like a sponge? I'm not sure I understand your question, Missy. Are you talking about as far as retaining weight or what? Whoops. Katie, body fat thing. Yeah, so with body fat, the unique thing about when you're doing a body fat test, and I challenge anyone, the more data you have, the better. So when you're trying to follow a plan, check your weight, do your measurements, because, do your waist, do your thighs, do your gun show, do your chest or your bust area, and try to make sure you're doing them in the exact same place every time. For instance, 8 inches above your knee. That way you're not just wrapping something around your leg, because if you're an inch or two lower and you go do your measurements again 3 weeks from now and you do it in the wrong spot, again, stuff that can mess with your mind. So try to think like a scientist if you're doing this. Weigh yourself consistently in the morning after you go to the bathroom, right? If you watch day 1 of my weigh-in, I did a before pee and an after pee video where I showed I literally lost a pound just by peeing. So be consistent. When you do your inches, if you do it at your belly button, make sure it's even all the way around. If you can get your hands on the body fat thing that I talked about, they're 30 or 40 bucks and they're not perfect. But again, if you do them consistently every day, they show you trends. And your weight or body fat is kind of like the stock market. It's not always just going to go straight up or straight down, but what you're going to see is a downward trend is the goal. Look at that wave. That's pretty good, isn't it? Anyway, so see if we have any other questions here. So Sheila, this is awesome. I'm so proud of Sheila. Sheila, if you want to share a little bit of your story in the comments, I don't want to steal your thunder, but I'm so proud of you. But Sheila said, I've noticed I've maintained weight, hence what she said, weight, since I've been working out, but my clothes are looser and I look better naked. Heck yeah. And I'm not worried about the scale anymore. So what's happened to Sheila is her weight is staying the same, but her clothes are fitting better. Now, guys, this is something called body composition or recomping. When you start exercising and using weights especially, you'll build lean muscle. Now, muscle does not weigh more than fat. 1 pound of muscle and 1 pound of fat are both a pound, but muscle is more dense. It's leaner than fat. So if I take a pound of muscle here and imagine, or a pound of fat here and a pound of muscle, the pound of muscle is going to take up less space than the pound of fat. So let's say you're exercising, following your diet, you get on the scale and the scale's not changing, but your clothes are falling off. Well, that usually means you're gaining lean muscle and losing body fat. So you're changing your body composition, which is another reason why I love that Sheila said, I look better naked. So she's taking pictures. She's looking at herself. She's paying attention to her body, not just what the scale says, or not just what, go with how the clothes are fitting. So many different things you can look at. I love that. Love it, love it, love it. So, exactly, JP, losing fat, gaining muscle. So, remember, number 1, calories are king, right? Number 2, we talked about weight versus fat, and we just also hit into that. Number 3 is the health thing. So, everyone's going, oh my God, Mike, you're eating this bad food, or are you checking your blood work? Are you doing your blood pressure and all this stuff? Guys, here's the thing. Again, I'm not condoning eating bad food, but what I will say, if 90% of your day is good, healthy food, fruits, vegetables, lean meats, nuts, getting plenty of water, and then one of your meals is fast food or Reese's or alcoholic drink, it is not going to, contrary to what people might tell you online or, whatever, blogger this, whatever your friend tells you, I promise you, it is not going, your body is very good at adapting. I've done blood work before and eaten like crap and went back and did blood work. In a few weeks, your body's not going to just break down and hate you. Will you be a little more sluggish eating bad food consistently? Of course, your energy levels are going to be low. Will you be a little more moody? Yes, because what happens is if you're eating high sugar foods and stuff like that, your insulin's going up and down, which affects your energy, which can affect your mood. So yes, there are things like that can happen. But the key that I'm trying to tell you is I've still been working out 3 to 5 days a week. I'm still dropping body fat. I'm still energetic. I still feel pretty good. But I'm not eating every single meal terrible. I'm eating 1 or 2 bad things a day. Everything else is still veggies, fruits, lean meats. So again, I just want to release you mentally that if you have a bad food, I'm not saying go eat it all the time. But I'm just saying, don't feel like a loser. Don't feel like a failure. Don't feel like your body's just going to break down and give up on you, right? Same token, let's say your family has a bad history of heart issues, blood pressure, high cholesterol, that kind of thing. Would it be smart for you to do a 30-day bad foods challenge or eat high saturated, high fat foods every day? Probably not, because studies link saturated fats to cholesterol, heart issues, that kind of thing. So be smart about your diets, guys. But don't think that, if your family has a history of heart issues and you have 1 red meat steak a week or a month, don't think that it's just going to destroy your life. I promise it probably won't. But you are your own scientist, right? Get your blood work done. Test some of these things out. Get a journal and journal your weight and how you're feeling in your mood for 1 week with different foods that you're eating and see what works best for you and your body. And hopefully that gives you a little bit of things there. But there's been some studies too that show vegetables and fruits are amazing, right? So if you're having meat or red meat or processed food, one of the best things that you can do is have fruits or vegetables to go along in there somewhere. Because fruits and vegetables have antioxidants and they're great at keeping your body healthy and fighting disease. So keep that in mind. Maybe you're going out to have a steak at night. Well, instead of having French fries or whatever with that steak, which you're just double dumping yourself, right? Maybe with that steak have a side of broccoli, right? Or maybe a sweet potato or a cup of fruit or something on the side. Something of that nature. And instead of maybe having, a big mug of beer like those Outback Aussie beers, right? Which is awesome, but maybe have a glass of red wine with your steak. At least red wine has a little bit of antioxidant potential because of the grapes. Like I did the other night for one of my cheats, I had dark chocolate almond candy bar. The dark chocolate has a little bit of fiber in it. Fiber is good for you. So in my head, I'm going, what's the best bang for my buck? So this is how I think. This is how your coaches, your online coaches or your trainers, they should be coaching you. It shouldn't be, hey, you have to do this my way because this is how it is. It shouldn't be, you have to eat these certain things every single day. It should be, hey guys, here's the fundamentals. Calories are king. Let's try to get as many fruits, vegetables, lean meats, nuts, and plenty of water in, right? But then how can we make this fit in your life? If you love Taco Tuesday, hit up Taco Tuesday, right? Figure it out. So let's see, anything. Yep, JP's right. Body is the best machine ever. So I'm trying to think if I had anything else that I wanted to cover with this. I'm sure as soon as I get off this Facebook Live, I will. But I had so many questions and messages, and most of the feedback from you guys has been phenomenal, and I'm so grateful. I'm starting to get messages every day of people seeing that and being released from those bonds, those mental bonds of thinking they can't have a little of this and a little of that every now and then. Comment questions below, please, before I get off here, but that did bring me to one point. Your budget. I'm going to hit on this real quick. I talk to my online clients about this a lot. Let's say you make $50,000 a year. We're going to throw this into a financial analogy. If you make 50 grand a year, would it be the smartest thing in the world to go buy a $100,000 sports car? You might be able to get approved for it, and you might somehow be able to barely make the payments, but it's not going to leave a lot of wiggle room in your budget, right? You're probably going to be like, man, I'm eating ramen noodles the rest of the week because all my money's going into that race car. It might look good, might look fancy, but probably not the most economical. Y'all follow what I'm saying there? So what I'm getting at is my caloric budget is 2,100 to 2,600 calories. Eating healthy foods is going to be the best use of my budget, because the healthy foods give you the vitamins and the minerals and the proteins to help rebuild and repair your muscle, so you're going to feel better and your body's going to respond better. So the more cheat foods you have, or bad foods, let's say Reese's big cups, 2 of them, just 2 big cups in one package is right over 400 calories. Well, 400 calories out of 2,100, y'all do the percentage on that. Let me do that real quick on the math. Boom. Whoops. 400 into 200. Whoops. Yeah, that's like what, 20%? Something like that. So if 20% of my budget in my calories is coming from Reese's, it's not the best use of my budget, right? Doesn't mean it's going to kill you in a day, but if you're an athlete or you're trying to get the most out of your body, just understand that the more of your calories that you can fill with vegetables, fruits, proteins, water, that kind of thing, the better off you're going to be when it comes to how you're feeling and how your body's performing. If you eat 2,600 calories and it's all pizza, that's awesome. You're still within your zone. You're not going to feel as good, and you need to get back on track the next day. So what I'm saying is just have some fluidity with this and understand how budgeting can help your long-term success on health and your fitness, okay? I truly think that's everything I wanted to cover today. Hopefully that gives you guys some insight and educated you a little bit. If you do have comments, I'll stay on for another second or two on here. Just comment below and I'll try to answer your question. I love going back and forth. But if you think this is valuable in some way, shape, or form, share it, send it to some friends. I'm doing a lot of this stuff for free. I actually am supposed to have a jiu-jitsu competition this weekend, and my coach wants me to do a certain weight class, but in order to do that weight class, I'd have to drop 10 pounds by Sunday, which I can do, but because of this challenge that I promised you guys I was going to do, it's going to make it hard, because the more of those calories, I'm going to have to lower my calories even more to drop that weight by Sunday. It's just going to make it tough on my body. So I'm going to have to wrestle in the heavyweight class with the big boys, just so that I can continue to do this challenge. But I'm doing it to prove a point and to educate you guys. So if there's anything that you found valuable in this, please share it with your friends. I want to help unlock so many people's mental slavery they have towards food and diets and nutrition. That's my goal, and that's where my heart is. And I want you to know that you can have your cake and eat it too, so to speak, if you know how it fits into the bigger picture. And as long as you're educated, you guys are all smart out there, you can figure out what's best for you. Not what some blogger tells you or what some dogmatic person tells you. What's best for you is what you know in your heart from the education you've received and that you've applied in your life. So anyways, guys, awesome. Yeah, good deal. Hey, thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you so much. Much love to you. Have a great day. We'll talk to you soon. Bye.